Hello, and welcome to the continuation of the video series of the College of Business at Clayton State University. I'm Dr. Avi Mukherjee, Dean of the College of Business. We have with us today Mr. Lon Langston, a senior corporate level executive, a serial entrepreneur, and a member of the Global Business Advisory Council of the College of Business. We are delighted to have you here today, Lon.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you. Tell us about yourself a little bit, your corporate experience, your interest in entrepreneurship, and your evolution in your career.
Okay, so I started out kind of in a traditional way. I got an undergraduate business degree from a school of business very similar to Clayton State's College of Business, and went to work for a small company at the lowest level and just worked my way up over several years. I left that company and went to a much larger company for other opportunities, and very consciously to kind of expand the breadth of my knowledge. And then at some point in my career, that company was about to be sold, and I thought I had a decision to make, and I decided that I would rather work for myself than work for another large corporation. So I came up with a business plan, spent about a year working on that, and then I went and pitched the business plan to several investors and put together some money in that way and started a company. In fact, a very capital-intensive company. So it took a good bit of investment capital to get it going. But I started that company in 2004. In January of 2004, and then just sold it in October of 2014, so 10 years and 10 months. And since then, going on to do other various entrepreneurial things. But I learned from that process that what I really like to do is get something started and be responsible for making it work and making it happen, right? Instead of just following orders or working for somebody. So
that's great, yes, and we are so delighted to have you here again. Clayton State's College of Business is the largest AACSB accredited business school in the south part of Atlanta, and there are very few executives and corporate business people more well known in the south side of Atlanta than Lon Langston. You head the Clayton Chamber of Commerce now, and that's coming up. That's a huge responsibility. Tell us a little bit about the South Side. What's going on, what's exciting, and what makes us positioned in a better way?
Okay, it's really interesting, and I feel qualified to talk about it because I've been on the South Side, both living south of Atlanta and working on the South Side my whole career. This is probably the most exciting time in all those 27 years because there's this huge momentum in the business community right now. And partially driven by Clayton State, by the way. I mean, this university and this College of Business are extremely involved in what's happening in business on the South Side. But there's great opportunities now that did not exist in the past, and there's a huge momentum for positive change that did not exist in the past necessarily. I am super excited. Now, the South Side's always been a great place to do business. It's always been very strong on the corporate industrial side, but it's now there's this opportunity for that to accelerate, maybe even exponentially, which is it's really exciting. It's really cool. From my position as the chairman of the Clayton Chamber of Commerce, I'm also a representative on the Atlanta Aerotropolis Alliance Board, and that organization is making a huge difference on the south side of Atlanta. So it's really cool, and I'll add one other thing. The reason that Clayton State University and the College of Business have made a positive impact is because the dean and the university president and many others are very interested in what's happening in business around here, and they're very interested in the school being integrated into the business community and vice versa. It's a great model. I don't know that it happens or doesn't happen other places, but their commitment to the business community here is obvious, and it's makes a huge positive impact.
And that commitment could not have been realized without the support and encouragement of people like you from industry, senior level executives who have brought their talent and expertise and shared it with our students. We do in the College of Business have a very high proportion of minority students. We also have a large body of non-traditional students, first-time college goers, and people who are driven to excel. A lot of them work. The average age of our incoming student batch is about 26, 27. It's very different from a lot of other traditional student bodies that you see in many universities. What would you say would be some of the prime reasons why they would come to Clayton State University and particularly to the College of Business?
I would say that the main reason, I don't know that this is the main reason they come in the first place, but the main reason they should come and the main reason they probably come if they know anyone else who is here is because of the faculty involvement in the students' lives. I mean, it's unprecedented. When I was an undergraduate, we didn't get that. The people who are teaching these classes really care about the students. They're really involved with each person individually. They know the students by name, they know what the students' aspirations are, and they work with them. And I can tell you this from a point of view that's kind of separate from the university, because I'm friends with several of the professors, that they have a passion for teaching these classes and these people. And so what I think that if it doesn't cause people to want to come here, it causes them to stay. And if they know somebody else, it will cause them to come here, and that's faculty involvement in each individual student.
That's great. One of our primary points of pride is our AACSB accreditation. Only about 5% of business schools globally have this accreditation. We are very proud to have that accreditation, but it also raises questions as to what does it mean to the external audience? What does a student get out of it?
Right.
How does the industry and the world look at this accreditation? What is the marketing value of this accreditation?
Okay, so from the point of view of the employer, and I have had Clayton State students who I hired straight out of school who worked for me, College of Business students who came and worked for me for many, many, many years and were great employees. And what I was looking for as an employer was knowledge in advance that they were qualified to do the job. And that's what AACSB gives an employer, right? So if you go to a place that calls itself a college or a school of business, but it is not accredited, then the employer does not have confidence that institution has met the rigorous standards that an accredited institution has to meet. So not just externally, where we as employers are looking at an accreditation as a way to choose what school we want to hire from, but also internally, and more importantly internally, what it does is it sets a standard by which the dean and the faculty here have to adhere, and it raises the bar for those schools that are AACSB accredited. So there's a lot of competition out there. People can choose to go to school a lot of different places, both physically and online. But as an employer, I'm going to choose someone who has gone to an accredited institution because I know that there is a quality standard associated with that accreditation.
2 years back, the College of Business started developing a Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. We ended up having a full-fledged center last year. We are getting the advisory board formed for that center. We have also started doing some student competitions around that. We have introduced a minor in entrepreneurship and a concentration in entrepreneurship as well within the management major in the College of Business. We are trying to catch up in a space that's really important in this field. And you are an expert in that area. You have real life experience, you have advised companies, and you have advised our students. Where do we go from here?
Well, let me start by saying it warms my heart that entrepreneurship is on the front burner now at the College of Business, because for a long time, College of Business, schools of business only focused on kind of the nuts and bolts, and which are important. It is important to understand how finance and accounting and marketing and management work. But that's only one part of business, and the fact that now the Center for Entrepreneurship is helping people advance their thinking on innovation and entrepreneurship is fantastic. It has always been important. It has not always been in the press like it is today, but it's always been important to business. But I think it's becoming more and more important. And particularly, I think after the Great Recession, when so many large companies realized that that whole middle level of employee, that whole middle management level, was not necessary. And so now there's this gap in the employment, which entrepreneurship is totally filling, right? So people who used to take the corporate route are now taking an innovative route and becoming entrepreneurs or working for entrepreneurs, which I happen to think is a much more positive way for the whole business community to evolve. But Clayton State College of Business is taking the leadership role in teaching people about entrepreneurship. And you know, it's not just professors who've always been in the classroom teaching it. They're bringing people in from the community who've been entrepreneurs to teach it, and which is kind of one of the roles that I've helped with. But if you come to this College of Business, you're going to learn, one, about entrepreneurship, but two, you're going to learn about it from people who've really done it and gone out there and actually made their living and created companies, and you'll be able to ask questions. How did this happen? How did this happen? Specifics, you know, what, and not only what were the specific things that they did, but also what was their motivation? What motivates a successful entrepreneur versus someone who is not? So I think it's incredibly positive you guys are doing this Center for Entrepreneurship. I'm very excited about it.
Thank you. And you know, we have had these events that we have organized. We have this, you know, the elevator pitch competition, which is where students from not only Clayton State students, but also students from other colleges in the area participate. They make a pitch presentation, and it's like a mini Shark Tank where there are a set of judges that evaluate the idea, and there are prizes that are given out. We also had the personal branding pitch that we did in the spring semester, in the fall semester actually. And you have participated in all of them as a judge. You have given feedback to students. What has been your impression of these events?
So it's an interesting little story. I was out of town. I was at a Chamber of Commerce event in Macon, and a local business leader called me, and he said, "You know what? I'm sponsoring this elevator pitch competition at Clayton State University College of Business, and I can't be there. I'm the sponsor, and I can't be there. Something's come up at work, and I can't change my schedule. Will you fill in for me as a judge?" And that was the beginning of something really great, because I thought it would be fun and interesting. But what happened was, on that day, that it was not only fun and interesting, and more so than I even thought it would be, but it was enlightening of what the caliber of student that this university and the College of Business is producing, and the range of abilities of the people, and you know, it gave the judges a really fantastic opportunity to give each student feedback. You know, we would listen to the elevator pitch and then give the student feedback one at a time. So those the people who volunteered to do the elevator pitch actually heard from business leaders who were the judges about how they could do their elevator pitch better, you know, or what they had done well. It was extremely fun and interesting and enlightening for the judges, and I think probably even more so for the people who did the pitch. I mean, it took some courage for them to do it, but I think the return on their investment of courage was huge.
Thank you. Yes, and the students had great comments, and they learned a lot from the judges, and so that was very, very useful. Your commitment to higher education in Atlanta and the metro area has been exemplary. You have spent a significant amount of time with the college, with the students, with the faculty, and we look forward to doing more on that together. What is your vision of the future of higher education in this area, particularly for a business school?
So I think what should be the future is to continue to be very in touch with the business community, to continue to innovate within the school, within the college, so that you're on the cutting edge continuously, right? And it's difficult because the pace of change is become much more rapid in the last few years. So it's a challenge for the dean and other people who are trying to stay on top of it. So that's it. I mean, you got to be very focused on what is happening in the business community now and what looks like it's going to be the next thing coming up, and make sure students are prepared for those things. Now, nobody can predict the future, so we don't know exactly where business is going to go, and obviously business is a big wide term, so there's thousands and thousands of different businesses and different tracks. But for this, what I would love to see happen in the college of business, what has happened in this college of business ever since I've been involved with it for the last 15 years, and what I would love to see continue to happen is stay on top of what the business community needs, right? And you guys have done that so well. I mean, you've got a great track record, so I see it continuing. But that's really what you have to do, because I think in academia you have to guard against getting complacent or getting stuck in the classroom. You need to be outside, finding out what's going on, and so you can help the students. So
that's absolutely right, and that's again very valuable. You serve on our advisory board. It's the Global Business Advisory Council of the College of Business that have 25 members across large companies, smaller entrepreneurial organizations, international firms. You have participated in our strategic planning endeavor, where you have looked at our strategic plan, you have given us feedback that we have used to further fine-tune our plan. How do you see the advisory board playing a role for us and participating in giving us direction in what we do?
So what's great about the advisory board is the diversity of people that you have chosen to be on it, because there are people from every different industry, from every different size business, from every different ethnic background, so that the advisory board keeps the dean informed about what's going on in the world and what real employers are really looking for in students. And what's really interesting about being in an advisory board meeting is the free flow of ideas, and it's not a formal process necessarily. Everybody who has an opinion gets to voice their opinion, and then there's debate, there's argument, there's discussion about those opinions, and the dean gets the benefit of hearing all of this and then incorporating it into how the College of Business does business, how the College of Business educates people. So the fact that what I said earlier about being in touch with the business community, that is a primary vehicle to do it, because you're bringing people from all kinds of businesses here and saying, hey, what do you guys need? What do you guys want to see the college do? And then, to your credit, you listen, which is great. So
that's great. Well, thank you, Lon. I really appreciate your views. You have been a true friend, mentor, a supporter of the College of Business and the university. And without people as dedicated as you are, we would not be able to move forward in this space. So we value this partnership. We are thankful that you are here today and you are here with us for the College of Business, and we value your insights and advice.
I'll tell you what, Dean, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't good people doing good work, right? That's what attracts me. So just the fact that I'm here, that I'm giving of my time, this is totally a volunteer situation for me. I wouldn't do that if it wasn't good people doing good work. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.